Today I'm gonna show you guys how to use meshy.ai and how you can import them into Roblox Studio and play around with AI texturing and 3D modeling. So what I'll show you guys first is text to 3D. So if I go over here, text to 3D, here may be a tutorial here. All you could do is simply describe what we want. So what I like to do is use ChatGPT to have it generate the prompt that I would prompt it. Just make sure that specify under 500 characters. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this, I'll paste it in here. These settings is depending on what you want. If it's like a character, you would likely choose symmetry. But then now I just leave it to auto. So you press generate, and this could take about a minute or two. So you can see here it's given us a couple of options. So first it generates a preview, and then we can select which of the if we want, and it'll actually generate the full model. And here you can choose if you're carrying this texture or not. For my purposes, I would advise to turn off the default and change this to fixed, because the default generates way too much polys. The Roblox already has that 10K poly countable limit. So we'll switch this to fixed. You can see it defaults to 10K. Leave it as quad. We confirm. You can see our model is finished texturing. So let's check it out. And it actually looks pretty good. I show you guys how you could do the same thing, but instead of having it generate the model for you, you could use your existing model and then you can texture it using AI. So up at the top here, it has an upload your own model button. And for my purposes, I have a really simple mesh model. Now over here, we have a checkbox where we can select if we wanted to use the model's original UV or if we want meshy.ai to generate its own. For my purposes, I usually use the original UV, but it's something you could also customize. I could probably do a tutorial on that if you guys are interested. You can see here my model has been uploaded. And similar process, you can choose the image option, but I have found that the image option does really terrible. It just seems to preempt the image itself on the mesh. Depending on the quality of your image, it doesn't look really great. So from my experience, the text input option is way better. Similar setup here. We'll just go over here and we'll have ChatGPT generate the prompt for this character. So let's do, now here we have our prompt. For my purposes, I need to make sure that the prompt is making my character bold because my character doesn't have hair. And what would happen is AI would try to generate hair for it, and it would look really weird. So just make sure the prompt fits your character, and also 500 characters, obviously. Let's just texture it and see what we get. And here we have our model. They actually did a pretty good job at generating this model. So now we have this model. I will show you guys how to down with it and how to optimize the image for Roblox Studio and stuff like that. So fell down the rock. And if we go to down road, you should see it over here. So let's extract this. So inside of it, we have the 3D model, and we also have this texture. And if you look closely, you can see this is a 2K texture, and it isn't very wise to have it 2K texture in your game because it increases the load times of your games and increases the GPU load in particular, which will cause lag. I would suggest that you guys resize it. My tree can get a tree size image. The first one here is image resizer. It's pretty simple. So you click on it, find the image that you had, and then change the dimension to 2048 by 2048. You just resize it. This is a rock, so I'll probably just 512. If it's going to be a main character, I suggest you probably leave this at 124. But for my purposes, I'll use 512. I will just resize. I already got this image here. You can see the size is significantly less, but just to get the size down just a bit without losing quality, we'll use tiny PNG. And tiny PNG just optimizes the image a bit and decreases the file size. So we just saved about 13% in terms of file size, and we got the texture here. Okay, so our next step is to open it in Blender. So you just open your Blender, you delete the default cube, hit it open it from right here on the side. Then you import FBX. Or you can also go up here, import FBX, and find the file. So this is Europe. Let's see the default view. But if we go to the shading, we can see it over here. Now, our first step is to go over to to go over to shading. And if you scroll out, you'll see it has the texture here. We'll just delete this texture and you upload the new texture here. Then delete and you reassign the base color. Now that you have the lower quality texture applied, if you go up here and you click on the drop down and you click on statistics, you can see the triangle count. And the triangle count is 22,000, which is over what Roblox limit is. So we need to reduce this triangle count. So what we'll do is we'll click on our object. We'll go on the modifiers and we will add modifier, click on generate, and we will go on generate the summing it. And then we'll do that. That's 2.5 and see how that works. For this decreases the triangle count. This is still over. So maybe 0.4. All we have to do now is export this and import it into Roblox. So to do that, and click on our model. We export FBX. We export FBX. I'll call this rock. We'll change the possible to copy. I'm going to select this option here to embed the texture. Those selected objects, mesh. And we will resize this to 0.01. We'll be so like this. Well, it doesn't really matter. We'll export. And then if we go over to Roblox Studio, we go on Avatar, we know our import. And then we go to downloads. Then we go in here and I get a rock. We import a rock. We have a rock in and we have the rock. If we scale this up, let's put it over here. There we could play. You would notice though that depending on the mesh, its collisions will be off. So you can see over here, I'm literally levitating, which isn't ideal. So the easy fix for this is click on the mesh. I said tomorrow, we'll click on the mesh. If you go to collision fidelity and set that to precise composition, might take a couple of seconds. And if we go back, and you can see we are no longer levitating. That's pretty much it. How you generate custom models using meshy.ai and importing them into Roblox. Remember to disseminate your models. Remember to optimize your textures, otherwise your game will lag. Again, I don't recommend using this as a substitute for a 3D modeler or 3D artist. It can be used as substitute props until you get certain models ready. As a solo developer, it could be used as placeholders for items in your game. But is this mesh here is 8,000 triangles. You could build something very similar to this using parts, or you could even model this way better looking than this and texture it way better looking than this with maybe half, maybe even quarter of the poly count. So yeah, this is very unoptimized models, but it gets the job done for placeholders. So hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment. If you guys do check it out and generate some stuff, feel free to share links to the stuff you guys generated. I'd love to check them out.